Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore.
Things are getting messy in the breakup between Elon Musk and President Donald Trump. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Friday, June 6th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. The alliance between the world's most powerful person and the world's richest person collapsed in spectacular fashion yesterday. First, a refresher. During President Trump's re-election campaign, Elon Musk emerged as his constant companion and biggest donor. After the inauguration, Musk stuck around as the president's self-proclaimed first buddy. He led the U.S. DOGE service to make dramatic cuts to the federal workforce and government spending. That gig ended last Friday with an Oval Office farewell. But since then, Musk has spoken out against Trump's big tax and spending bill. On Tuesday, he called it a disgusting abomination. On Wednesday, he doubled down, urging Congress to kill the bill. Yesterday, Trump responded to Musk's change in tune from the Oval Office.
And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape, he said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Then things got really ugly, with potentially big consequences for the country. Musk said there should be a new political party. Then Trump threatened to cancel Musk's government contracts and subsidies. Then Musk claimed that Trump appears in files linked to the investigation of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't provide evidence. Musk also said he would decommission the SpaceX spacecraft that services the International Space Station. He then appeared to endorse Trump's impeachment. And that wasn't even all of it. If you missed the fight, we have a very handy timeline in our newsletter today. It lets you scroll through each and every insult lobbed this week with helpful context. Find that in our show notes. President Trump's new travel ban is facing mounting criticism. That's number 2. The travel ban is set to go in effect on Monday. It would ban citizens from 12 countries, including Afghanistan and Sudan, from traveling to the U.S. Another 7 countries are facing restrictions on specific visas. Immigrants from these countries have put down roots in all 50 states. They left spouses, children, and friends behind, hoping one day to be reunited. But overnight, those hopes have been shattered. Advocates for immigrants and some Democratic state attorneys general said they are examining potential legal action. But legal experts predicted the order would be difficult to stop through challenges in court. Democratic Senator Tina Smith spoke to my colleague Annalise Roy yesterday.
It's just despicable. He keeps trying to do the same bad thing in different ways. And we should have a process for vetting people that come into this country. These blanket bans are discriminatory and unfair and probably illegal.
At least one Republican elected official also condemned the ban yesterday. Representative Michael Lawler of New York cited the humanitarian crisis in Haiti as a reason to remove it from the list of affected countries. Number 3. Russia launched deadly attacks on Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities overnight. Multiple explosions were heard for hours in Ukraine's capital. According to the city's mayor, 4 people were killed and 20 were injured. It was the latest in a series of large-scale attacks targeting regions across Ukraine. The attack came a day after President Trump compared Russia and Ukraine to squabbling children. He suggested that the 2 warring nations may just need to keep fighting for a while. It appeared to be a signal that Trump is losing interest in brokering peace between Ukraine and Russia. On the campaign trail, he had promised to end the war in a day. Number 4. A solid labor market is showing new signs of fragility. Later this morning, the latest federal jobs report is expected to show that hiring slowed in May. Uncertainty over Trump's tariffs may have pushed employers to pause hiring or cut jobs. Forecasters are predicting 125,000 added jobs. That would mark a drop from the previous month, but also some resilience. It would be enough growth to keep the economy out of a recession. Major job cuts in the federal government are not yet expected to show up in official data. But economists expect a slowdown in seasonal hiring this summer, including at national parks. The report comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, so check out our site then. The Supreme Court sided with a woman who claimed anti-straight discrimination. That's our fifth story. In 2020, Marlene Ames filed a reverse discrimination lawsuit after she lost out on 2 jobs at the Ohio Youth Department to colleagues who were gay. Yesterday, justices unanimously backed her case. The court struck down a legal standard which was used in nearly half of the nation's federal circuits. It required members of groups that historically have not faced discrimination, like straight people, to meet a higher bar to prove workplace bias than members of minority groups. Justices ruled that it was unconstitutional to have different standards for different groups of people. The decision will make it easier for people who are white, male, or straight to prove workplace discrimination claims, and it could lead to more lawsuits claiming reverse discrimination. Number 6. Central and southern states are facing days of damaging storms. A classic Great Plains severe weather outbreak is underway. A big stretch of the country from New Mexico to Kentucky is at risk for severe thunderstorms today. Tomorrow, the risk moves further east. The storms could bring tornadoes, damaging wind, and hail. There have already been more than 1,000 tornadoes in the U.S. this year. That's the 4th highest number since 2010, and it's about 30% higher than the average number. Meanwhile, further north, smoke from Canadian wildfires has given Chicago and Detroit some of the world's worst air quality. We have maps in our newsletter today that show how far the smoke has spread. Find that in our show notes, and stay safe out there. And at number 7, a murder map reveals the grisly history of medieval England. It's not a surprise that 14th century England was a pretty brutal place, but a new project has shed light on just how bloody it was. A paper published yesterday offers a glimpse into the dark underbelly of medieval life in London, Oxford, and York. The authors analyzed 3 so-called murder maps showing homicide scenes in each city. You can browse the maps yourself, and they reveal some pretty amazing stories. One man was stabbed to death after he stumbled over a heap of dung while trying to flee a fight. And a priest was killed by 3 knife-wielding assailants, possibly in the aftermath of an affair with a noblewoman. You can find a link to the murder maps in our newsletter today. So enjoy a weekend of browsing and beware the allure of noblewomen. That's the show for this week. The associate producer of The 7 is Taylor White. The staff writers are Jamie Ross and me. John Taylor is our editor. Additional editing by Christina Quinn. Copy editing by Melissa No and Thomas Haliba. Mixing and sound design is by Jim Briggs and Justin Garish. Our theme music is by Edith Mudge. Renita Jablonski is our director of audio. I'm Hannah Jewell. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend. I'll meet you back here on Monday.
I'm Sally Jenkins, and I'm a sports columnist and feature writer for The Washington Post. My job entails pulling the curtain on really big sports events, at what is going on in locker rooms, what's going on in the stadium tunnel, most importantly, what's going on in the minds of the athletes that I cover. I think that we have an instinct that sports are really important in some primal way. We pay a lot of money for them. We build really big stadiums for them. And I think that athletics really gets us in touch with aspiration and teach something very, very important about accountability, about self-determination. And so my job is to really make those links explicit for readers and users. Subscriptions support this work and the people behind it. Find out more at subscribe.washingtonpost.com. I'm Sally Jenkins, and I'm one of the people behind The Post.